So I'm moving into the next photo, and I'm doing this because when we ground, the way I teach grounding, we want to attach a grounding cord to our root chakra. So I just pulled a couple of graphics from the internet to show you where your first chakra is. I never like to take anything for granted that people know stuff, and even if you know it. So I think this one shows the root chakra right in the pelvic region. I think of it as the base of the spine because we're going through the back. So I just want you to have a good visual about where we're going to attach this grounding cord. And when we talk grounding cord, it can be anything. And I know some of you, my coaching students who may have been through this, especially Josh, who's such an incredible artist, you've got good visualizations. But I like to use roots, like I have a picture of a tree with roots. Some people like to use energy. There's energy right there. Whatever, it doesn't really matter, but the point is we're going to connect ourselves to the planet. And so I had this one little graphic here with the guy sitting on the chair, and then how it goes down. That's the intention, is that we're going to create a grounding cord, and we're going to attach it to the root, our base of our spine, and then we're going to go down to the center of the planet, which is, don't worry about it, it just is what we're going to do. So if everybody would just go ahead and close your eyes. I'll do it at the same time. So just take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And sort of just get away from everything I've just said in the last hour or so. And we're going to focus on a new task. And this, as I said, grounding is, if you learn any tool and learn it well, this is the best friend you'll ever have when it comes to reading, getting information, because a good grounding cord clears out any energy in your space that does not belong to you. And most of us, that's where we get into trouble. Let's see. Nancy's asking me, can I have legs crossed like in meditation? I would prefer for this exercise, no. That's a different kind of, there are many different kinds of grounding techniques on the planet. For this particular exercise, because we're working specifically from an energy standpoint, I'd like it to be a certain way. Now, at some point, Nancy, when you're off and on your own, you can do it how you like. You'll figure out what works for you in this regard. But just for purposes of this process, this all be uniform. So feet flat on the ground, close our eyes, and we want to keep our attention behind our eyes. I call this the control tower, the center of your head. We want to keep our energy there. We don't want to go down our grounding cord to the center of the planet. We're just going to watch ourselves kind of have this process. So now in your mind's eye, and by the way, this is a very fast process for any of you that haven't done this before. So be easy on yourself if you're finding it difficult to keep up. But first I want you to imagine what your grounding cord would look like. You know, my grounding cord looks like, I like roots, I like oak trees, I like trees. That's just my thing. Some people like, you know, metal cylinders, other people like chains, some people like energy beams, some people like waterfalls. Whatever feels like a cord to you, or something that could help you release energy and also secure your body, your energetic body as well as your physical body, you know, think about what that might be. And just take a couple minutes to think about that and conjure an image for yourself. So I'm going to be quiet while you do that. Okay, so hopefully you have some type of an image in your mind. And this is where we begin, for those of you who are very new to this, this is where we begin this is the flexing of the muscle. This is where we begin to get practiced at using visualization as a method of moving energy and getting information. So you're going to imagine, visualize this grounding cord that you've created in your mind that fits for who you are. And you're going to move it from your mind's eye up in the center of your head and attach it to the base of your spine, the root chakra. Sorry about that, my phone went off. So when I have my tree attached to the root of my chakra, it actually kind of plugs in. And for any of you just to help with the visual with the chakra, chakra of course means wheel, and I see it as such. So there's even openings in a chakra where you can grab onto it. And so continue now to try and attach your grounding cord, whatever it is, to the chakra. And by the way, this is preparing you for other things down the road. When we start to read, look at past lives, and when you're sitting in intangible realities, you want to have a grounding cord. Not that we aren't always sitting in it to some effect, but when you're not awake to it, sometimes ignorance is bliss, as they say. But once you actively start playing in these realms, you definitely want your essence to be grounded to your body and vice versa. So now you should have your cord, your energy stream, your chains, your tree trunk, whatever you have should be attached to your chakra. Make sure it feels solid and really connected. And then begin to lengthen the cord. Just lengthen, lengthen. And it's not a speed race, it's just continue to lengthen it at a pace that feels comfortable to you. And lengthen, almost like if you were to unravel a hose in your front yard. You just undo it and let it go down, down, down to the center of the planet until you feel like you were there. When my grounding cord hits the center of the planet, it kind of feels like and sounds like, in my energy, like a kind of a thud. You can wait for that feeling, or maybe if you have some challenge around that, you can put a little hook up in, and you can connect like two metal pieces connecting to each other, whatever it takes you to feel like you're connected to the planet. And then make sure you take some breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Really just continue to participate in this process. Just keep it going until you feel the center of the planet. And I'm going to wait if everybody, if you have access to the chat room, let me know when you're there, or I will just unmute you one by one. I'm going to unmute everybody and just be quiet unless you're saying that you are there. So everybody's unmuted, and just give me a yes or a no if you are there, or when you are there.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Great. Now what I want you to do is I want you to thicken your cord. So whatever size or width your cord is now, I want you to double it. And then we want it to be doubled all the way from the root all the way down to the center of the plant. We want it to be wider. So if it was 1 inch, I want it to be 2 inches, 2 inches, 4 inches. And as a point of reference, there's not a right or wrong here, but especially when I'm in front of a group, as I am now, my body in relationship to my grounding cord, I look like a figurine. My grounding cord is about 10 times the size of my body. And I'm not expecting any of you to accomplish that today unless you want to try. But it's something I do to keep myself grounded and to be able to absorb all the energy that comes from each one of you powerful people, and keep myself in my body and centered and focused. But you'll notice as you expand your grounding cord and make it bigger, you can release more energy. And all of you should be feeling much quieter if you weren't quiet in your system. And notice how your energy feels as you ground and have a big, thick grounding cord on you. Suddenly, I mean, quiet is the best way to describe it for me. But you should be feeling calmer. You should be feeling clearer, and things should feel less complex. I think many of us walk around with all kinds of thoughts, beliefs, and ideas in our energy that aren't even ours. People deposit things in our space and we take them on intentionally or unintentionally and don't even realize it. So just continue to enjoy this space of grounding and allow yourself to be on release and feel what it feels like to have your space for you. And in addition to keeping your body safe, so for those of you who have difficult, sometimes you leave your body, this is the tool, one of the tools you're going to want to master to keep you in your body and keep you safe. Because even if you run for the hills, when whatever happens to you happens, your body still isn't safe and your energy still isn't safe. You want to be in it so that you can move about the cabin productively. And from this state of clarity, if you want to call it that, it's so much easier to read energy. And what we do is we identify what is ours and what isn't. So for those of you who, when you have read in the past or cards, whatever, and you have like 5 different streams of information coming to you, this is such a helpful tool because you can tell what doesn't belong to you and what is most important at the moment. It really starts to become clear because there's not 20 competing lines of energy. So when you feel like you have completed this particular task, go ahead and open your eyes and just come back to the Zoom room. And if anybody has any comments before we move on to the next piece, I'm just going to unmute all. And if anyone has anything they want to report or say about their experience, you can do it now.
I totally felt grounded. I totally felt connected. I still feel it. And it does expand all the way up to, like, I don't know, it expands almost to like my butt cheeks. I don't know, back there, almost up to what is that bone, whatever that bone, pelvic bone, all the way out there. And still feel connected. Now, after we ground ourselves, do we bring the cord back up or we leave the cord in all day?
Great question. Leave the cord there. You want to, here's my point of view about this, is that you don't ever not want to be grounded. and rather the times when you aren't grounded in your life, period, not just if you're doing intuitive work. That should be what you notice, not when you are grounded, but when you aren't.